Hello YouTube. I'm just making a video today, just walking around the yard thinking about some things. It wasn't that long ago, and I know I say it kind of flippantly, but I went through a little layoff and still working with the same outfit, but they found something else for me to do, I guess. But my layoff lasted for a couple days, I guess, but they just rolled it into the next job, so it was fine. But when we think that things happen to us that are bad, sometimes they end up being the best thing that could have happened to us. And I think that was the scenario here, right? It's just the best thing that could have happened as far as me working for this institution. Is I didn't need to be in the old role I was in, because honestly, it wasn't what it was represented to be when I got hired. If you want to know the cold hard facts about it, but I tried my best, and I did really what I consider a bang up job with it. I did a good job. It was, even if I have to say it myself, when you can create something from nothing, you can be proud of that. But then it just gets stale after a while. After you've built what it is you need to build, and you've done what you need to do, and then everybody moves in and starts nitpicking small things when there was nothing there to start with. Sometimes it's just time to move on, and that time had passed long before the change was made. And so, no hard feelings there, went different direction, whatever. I think it's good for me, good for my mental health, right? And so I was fine anyway. Like, I'm not weak. Let's just be real here. I'm not weak. I don't kowtow to somebody because they think they have made up authority and a title at one institution when there's multiple across the planet, right? Like, I can go work somewhere else. It doesn't matter. I have real skills, right? And, if you all don't like my real skills, I'll just take them somewhere else. It's cool. So, I'm not worried about it. But it did get me to thinking, like, and I'm looking at people, and they're so afraid that they might be laid off next or whatever. That's no way to live. It's no way to live. Letting people make you fear for your livelihood, letting people make you fear that, that's very close to blasphemy if it isn't. And the Bible, as I read it, pretty much said most sins can be forgiven except blasphemy. And I do not worship at the altar of my job. And so society teaches us to worship at the altar of their job, and I think that's scary. And the reason for that, you do a lot of people will do a lot of immoral things to keep their job, and they're doing these immoral things, and they see nothing wrong with it. And see, that's another thing, right? You can call me sexist or whatever you want to call me, but my wife's here at home. I don't need her kowtowing to some boss that may or may not be tyrannical, and I'm not there to judge it, right? That he or she may or may not ask her to do an immoral thing. That's equivalent to me putting Eve at the apple tree. Right? I don't want to put Eve at the apple tree. I don't want to do it. I'm going to do my best to prevent that. So, I'm not trying to say that, my wife can't fend for herself or anything, but why put her in the position to where she has to? If you don't have to, if it's not absolutely necessary. And by absolutely necessary doesn't mean we can afford nice things if I do that. No. Can we survive and eat if she doesn't do that? And the answer is yes. And so I would rather live simply than live extravagantly, but her be at the base of that apple tree all the time. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, if I have to go every day and I know what I'm dealing with, I can pray about it, I can be about it, and I can go in and do what I need to do, knowing that there are other places I could be if I have to. The feminine spirit doesn't operate in that framework, generally speaking. And so I like my wife being feminine. But anyway, so off of that subject, onto another subject, which is very similar. Gates. I think a gate is a great addition to any homestead. I think a gate delineates the outside from the inside. Now notice I offset it some so you can pull in. Now it opens towards us and away from the road, so you can pull in right here in front of this gate, and then it will open this way and let you in, and then it automatically closes. And so if you don't have an automatic gate opener or closer, you're not gonna use it. Right? It's just gonna sit open. But then you have the whole yard fenced in, right? It's good for a few things, your gardens. You can now, this garden here doesn't look too great, and it's not, because we're letting it lie fallow this year. Really, having your place fenced in gives you an understanding of what you have, what you're maintaining. It puts a boundary around what you need to take care of, and it shrinks your focus, right? And so I also have property over there, like that barn's mine, that hill and all that, which there's a lot of land over there, but there's fence around some of it as well, but that's to contain livestock. Ultimately, fencing something in gives you a sense of what you need to take care of. And so with my analogy that I'm using with my gate, you determine what you let in your gate, what you let out of your gate. I have a second gate. Up behind that tractor, there's another gate, but it is a manual gate. And it is for access for my neighbor if they need to come over here, or me if I need to go over there, and a secondary for this gate. Because we've never had issues with one another. We are related cousins, and it's one of those things to where having that gate is not a problem. Like for either one of us, if they need to get in, use that gate for whatever reason, I'm going to let them. And they've pretty much told me, hey, it's cool, do what you need to do. And, and if I'm going to do anything over there, I would certainly ask. But it's an extra security measure. And so having your place fenced in with a gate is great. I mean, it really is. The riffraff can't get in. Now, it's annoying sometimes, but all security is. Like the police, theoretically, should not come through this gate. If they come through this gate, they are entering my abode, essentially. And so I'm not hiding anything, but I don't want them up here poking around when I ain't here neither. And if you let your land lay open, They can go to anything that ain't locked. And so I don't want anyone up here messing around. Not just police. I mean, if police want to come in here and they want to do whatever they want to do, they're going to have to either one, supply me with a warrant, or two, sweet talk me into it. Okay? And I'm not opposed to being sweet talked, right? But no, I control this. I control this property. As someone who's worked my butt off for what I have, I need to control who enters and exits that gate. Same thing with my life. I need to control who enters and exits my life. And you are in control of that. There are a lot of things people worry about that they have no control over, such as getting laid off. But they don't worry about the things they should and do have control over, which is, who are they bringing in their life? What influences are they listening to? What are they allowing to go on around them? Right? And so anything beyond this gate is my responsibility. Anything outside of this gate is not my problem. Okay? And so that is ultimately how you can think about your work life. That is how you can think about really anything going on in the world, right? Like, you know, the state or the federal government going into a shutdown or whatever, right? Like, I can't control that. I can't control it. And I'm not trying to teach learned helplessness here. But what I am trying to say is that how much mental energy does that take, right? Versus how much mental energy am I going to use to make sure that my goats over there are fed, my fence wire's tight, my wife and kids have something to eat, they have health insurance, they're taken care of. Like, I need to worry about that. I need to stay in my lane, worry about that. That said, if somebody's trying to just be crooked to me to my face, it's also my responsibility to call it out for what it is. And if I work at a place where they're going to do that, then the consequence is they hired the dude who's going to be honest and have integrity. So if you're going to do it in front of my face and you're going to hire me, you're going to hear about it. Now, do I control the organization? Absolutely not. But am I going to say something when asked? Sure. Do I disagree? Depends on what it is, right? And if it's something immoral or unjust and I have a platform to say something about it, I'm going to say that's immoral or unjust, and I wouldn't do it that way. Does that mean that I want someone to fail? My business that I'm working for to fail? Absolutely not. That means I'm saying, you asked me, one. Two, I really want the best for you, so I'm going to tell you what I think. And so I also don't want to sit here and be manipulated, or someone trying to be manipulating me, and let them think that the devil can get a hold of me that fast. And to have an exercise in allowing that to happen and desensitizing me for that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to settle for that. But, you know, you come out here, you touch some grass, you look at your animals, you look at your half-done projects that you really need to do, and you just, you understand that you're just living. It's just a good time. And I lost a friend from high school this past weekend, a few days ago. And we weren't close anymore, but he worked at a local bar that I would sometimes go to. I like the food. I don't drink. But I would go in there and, you know, I just pretty much shake his hand, say, hey, how are you doing, bud? And how's it been going? And that's about it, you know. And we just greet each other. Always pleasant to be around. Wonderful, wonderful man. But he died young, and nobody's saying what happened to him. But it's odd for someone to die in their mid to early 30s, right? And so, I mean, it happens, but it's not the most common thing, and thank goodness for that. But it gets you thinking a lot about this life and what you control and what you can't control. And so I figured I would share that with you, and hopefully it resonates with someone.